Life speaks. It speaks through struggles and success, through music and messages, the preconceived and the unexpected. Whether you are in the depths of the valley or in the midst of your mountaintop experience, everyone needs to be encouraged from time to time. Here we will share stories of strength, testimonies of triumph, verses of victory, observations, and information meant to touch the heart and uplift the soul, to keep you on your path of purpose and navigate this thing called life with power and authority. This is Andrea L. Hines, and I'm your host for When Life Speaks, here on ALH Broadcasting, an affiliate of the Streaming Inspirational Broadcast Network. I am glad you accepted the invitation to join us tonight. There's something in this broadcast just for you, and if it is going to be a blessing to your life, it will be to someone else as well. So share, tag, start a watch party, and invite someone you know to join us. Then turn down the volume of life and get ready to receive, so that when life speaks, you'll speak life. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to When Life Speaks. You have tuned in to ALH Broadcasting, an affiliate of the Streaming Inspirational Broadcast Network, and I am your host this evening, Andrea L. Hines, and I am very, very glad to bring you tonight's program. I tell you, this is a different backdrop. I don't know whether or not I'll keep it, but there's a lot going on behind this screen tonight. I can tell you that. Last minute things getting together for a reading for His glory on Saturday afternoon. So I had to cover things up a little bit and make them a little bit neater. But as I was in prep for what is getting ready to come this weekend, I was out and about, and I was doing some errands that I had to do. And as I was driving through the city, I was saying to myself, oh my goodness, when did they change this traffic pattern? And when did they tear down that building? And what's going in its place? And man, there's just so many changes happening in the city, and just accommodating new business complexes coming up and increasing the housing developments. And along with that, they're also increasing rents and increased mortgages, high prices of things going up all over everywhere. And in the midst of that, and looking at all of that growth and everything, I also noticed a homeless man in the street carrying a sign, not on the sidewalk, but literally in the street. And I thought, that population is growing as well. And God always weaves things together in such an incredible way. And it really was leading me into a topic that I wanted to discuss tonight. But when I was looking at this individual and thinking about their plight, it took me to a poem that I had written not long ago, and I revisit it once or twice a year. And this seemed to be the perfect time. And the name of the poem is Shadows. It's called Shadows. And let me read it to you now before we get into the rest of the program. After hurried appointments and meetings, a round of all work and no play, I was anxious to get home, take time to relax and forget all about the day. Looking forward to selfish unwinding after rushing here and there, I parked a short distance from my home to walk and enjoy the night air. I noticed these shadows as I walked along the busy, dimly lit street. Shadows, forms, shapes, and figures, some rugged, some soft, all discreet. Large shadows as I hurried past and quickly looked away, small shadows that I tried to ignore just in case they had something to say. There was a shadow bundled in the doorway, another over there by the tree. From another shadow, a faded sign with two printed words: Help me. Why don't these shadows disappear? They're an irritant and eyesore at best. You would think they've decided to set up house and make the street their new address. Let me speak on behalf of the shadows. I heard a voice strong and clear say, I have a few questions to ask of you, and there are a few things that you need to hear. What happened to all your compassion? When did you become so great? Do you think because you are blessed today, you have a right to judge and berate? A sudden shift in the timing of life, a circumstance with more loss than gain, and you could become just a shadow, battered by wind and rain, or parched by the sun with no shelter or shade, once hoping to get a new start, now carrying all your possessions, your whole life in a bag or a cart. What you call shadows are real men and women, each with a story to tell, lost, ignored, and forgotten today. They had hopes and dreams as well. Oh, dear God, I ask your forgiveness. What on earth has happened to me? Have I become so consumed with myself that I can no longer see? As I stood there ashamed, softly crying, I knew, just like I know my name, from the moment I heard the voice of God, I would never see shadows the same. So pause when you next see a shadow. Take a good long look, and you'll see the shadows have well defined faces of people just like you and me. I'll never take what I have for granted or look down on those I've passed by. For that night, God helped me remember, there but for his grace go I. Shadows. The guest that I have on tonight is someone who has a different perspective on shadows through the organization that she is working with so diligently. And just had an opportunity to interview her today, and I am going to share that interview with you now. Good evening, Ida. Minister Angie, good evening to you. Good evening, Bernice. Linda Cooks is also on the line today, and I know some others will be popping in. But I wanted to share this interview with you. I think it is a wonderful organization, and it's led by great people, and they're doing great things. And I'm going to stop talking about it and let you hear our guest for the evening. Well, good evening, everybody. You have tuned in to When Life Speaks, and I am so glad that you are with me this evening. I have a very, very special guest, and I have told you about her, a little bit about her before the break, and how I got to be exposed to such a wonderful organization. So now it's your turn to meet my special guest for this evening. Her name is Jennifer Paul. She is acting executive director of this group called Families Together. How you doing, Jennifer? You good?
I'm good. Great to be here. Thanks for
Wonderful.
having me.
Wonderful. Well, we are glad that you are here also. And homelessness, as I was saying before the break, is not something that is new to any of us. There are, no matter where you're living, no matter what state you are in, there is a homeless population. And we have an opportunity to do something to support organizations that are very, very deeply involved in making a change and making a difference. And I really, really like the uniqueness of Families Together, because we don't always think of the family situation. When I was reading Shadows, that's more about an individual. You see an individual that is homeless and living on the street, but we do not think about the family. Jennifer, tell us a little bit about how you got involved with Families Together and how long you've been a part of the organization.
Okay, great. I will. I'd love to. So I have been with Families Together for 8 years, and I came here after a long. I've had a pretty long career in the nonprofit sector, and I've worked with a lot of different nonprofits, national, overseas, small startups. And what I've learned over my career is that I really want to be where the mission is happening. And I had been in Washington, D.C. That's where I lived most of my life. I worked at an organization that was working with people experiencing homelessness and had formed kind of a community, welcoming people for meals and to take care of their basic needs like laundry and having a place to get your mail, things you don't think about when somebody might be homeless. And so when I was relocating to Raleigh, North Carolina, that I was looking for something similar, and the opportunity with Families Together presented, and it really spoke to me. We are working with families with children, as you mentioned, and it is a very different population from what I had experienced before. And I'm happy to go into what we do at Families Together.
You didn't know this, and I didn't realize this either, but I'm a native Washingtonian as well. I lived in D.C. before moving here to North Carolina.
Oh,
but
okay.
Before we really get into the organization, how long has Families Together been in existence?
43 years.
Wow.
Started here in Raleigh in 1980. And it was started by a small group of individuals who, at that time, were concerned about people who were in our hospital, what's called Wake Med here in Raleigh. And they were concerned about people who had a loved one in the hospital and did not have anywhere to stay. And so they started a program for those families. And that idea grew and evolved over the 43 years to being one focused on ending family homelessness.
And Jennifer, there's something in really, really important going on over these next few days. We have today and tomorrow to participate in it. And I don't want to forget to talk about that before we get off the line. But for right now, just tell us as much or as little as you want to about Families Together, your mission, the kinds of things that you've done. I know that I've been involved in some projects that you do on an annual basis, but there is so much that needs to be done in so many ways that we can help. So I'm going to turn it over to you and just tell us what you will about Families Together.
Okay. Well, first off, I would like to say that at Families Together, we believe every family deserves a home, and children should never have to wonder where they're going to sleep at night. And but the situation in our community here, which is Wake County, North Carolina, is that more and more the face of homelessness is the face of a child. And what we're seeing is some really alarming statistics that are related to significant rises in family homelessness. We have seen, and we now expect anticipate about 7,000 children will experience homelessness in our county this year. The number has increased year over year for at least 10 years. And we're, the experience of the pandemic, the economic fallout from the pandemic has kind of compounded and intensified the challenges. We're seeing more and more families with children that are living with no shelter whatsoever. They're in backyard sheds, storage rooms, tents, cars. And so that's really alarming to us and why we exist. The big contributor to this problem for our area is the loss of housing, affordable housing, housing that families that are earning extremely low income, usually that means around 30% of the area median income or below, they're getting priced out, and the housing just is disappearing for that they can afford. Mm-hmm. So, and currently in Wake County, it's estimated we need another 50,000 units of housing to meet the need in our community. And that disproportionately impacts extremely low income individuals and families. So that gives you a little sense of the context that we're operating in right now. Yeah. And what we've done or what we are doing is trying to respond and adapt and evolve to the changing needs in our community. And so one of the big changing needs has been the need for shelter. And so we've been able to triple our capacity for our family shelter. We have 6 apartment units. We now have additional 15 motel rooms that we use as shelter. So that gives us a total of 21. What's unique about our shelter is that we do prioritize those families most at risk of separation if they were to go in a traditional shelter. So that would be a shelter where there's bunk beds and it's communal, kind of everybody's sleeping together. So you can't accommodate a dad or an older male child. We have private units. So we do keep those, that's our name. That's what we're about. It's keeping families together. And we know how critical that is, especially to the children who are going through already the trauma of experiencing homelessness. The other thing that we've done more recently is start to acquire property that we own or lease. And because of the growing challenges of finding affordable housing, in the past, we were able to move a family to an apartment unit at market rate rent. And 6-7 years ago, it might have been $600 a month. Now it's $1,600 a month. Right. And so that has become really out of reach for most of the families that we're serving. So we have units that we can move families in that we own or lease. And we're trying to build up that portfolio. It's a slow process because it's costly, and it's a whole new skill set that we need to have as an organization, being property owners, property managers, and landlords. It's a different kind of job or responsibility. So
Jennifer, how do people find you?
The main way people are find us or connected with us is through our coordinated, what is called the community's coordinated access hub. And that is a centralized place. There are actually a few sites where people go in our county to be assessed for their needs, their housing insecurity or homelessness. And then from there, based on the assessment, they would be referred to the organization that would best meet their needs. So if it's an individual, they would not be referred to us, but a family with children, ages 18 and younger, would be referred to Families Together. The challenge is our system is really overwhelmed right now, like so many places across our community, across our country, really. So many cities are having a similar kind of problem, or actually further along. If you think about Austin, Seattle, New York, DC, Los Angeles, the homeless crisis has really exploded. The big concern here is Raleigh could potentially be on the cusp. We still have a chance to do something, and we're trying. One of the other things we're working on more recently in the last few years is to increase our role in advocacy. So we are working to try to represent the voices of the people we serve where decisions are being made. So we're on radio stations. We're going to meet with our city council members. We have formed a coalition of housing providers. We've helped to form that coalition that is now coordinating its voice or coordinating our work around priorities that we all share mutually. So we're trying to work at a systems level now, in addition to working with each family that we serve.
Mhm. Now, I know that I found out about Families Together through one of your annual projects, and that is feeding families at Christmas time during Thanksgiving and Christmas. But there is so much more. And it's wonderful to do these things, and they can always galvanize people over the holidays and during those seasons. And everybody is looking to do something to help, to assist, to make a difference with somebody. But there are a lot of other things that you all do on an ongoing basis, where people can donate different things, donate their skill sets. But what are some of the things that somebody can do regularly that would
Yeah.
assist your efforts?
There's a range of ways people can plug in if they're in our area, and I'm sure if you're in another location, you could, there are similar organizations, the Families Together, if you share a commitment to this work that you could connect with. But for us, it's like you said, donating food at the holiday time. We also have a gift drive where we have holiday gifts that are that people donate. They sponsor families in our program. That way we make sure children receive gifts, and kind of alleviates the burden on the family, the parents, that stress around the holidays. But ongoing, we have other drives like spring cleaning supplies and household supplies, because we're moving families into their home. We want to help them get set up right off and reduce their costs. So cleaning supplies, basic things that you need, like toiletries, bedding, towels, so things like that to set up a home that add up to a lot of money. We have drives for that kind of thing. In the summer, we'll be holding a school supply drive to help kids, have the items that they need to start off the school year well. And we have ongoing kinds of drives like that. We also definitely need and welcome financial donations. And we're currently in our spring campaign. We're calling it the 40 Family Housing Challenge. Our goal is to house or help 40 families move from homelessness to stable homes. And we need to raise $400,000 to do that. It's costing us about $10,000 now for each family. And that's to get them in that home, that first home, a place where they signed the lease in their own name, and then provide up to a year of holistic wraparound support from our team. We provide behavioral health support, financial empowerment and financial literacy training, employment support to connect to better paying jobs, one-on-one coaching, and connection to community resources. Awesome. So those are some of the ways we try to really help each family achieve long-term housing success.
Awesome. Now, this spring campaign, I thought this was a wonderful thing. I know that you do match giving at other times, but this is really, really out there this time, and I'm really happy that we are able to do this before that part of this particular campaign is over. So this started on the 24th. So those who are listening, if this is something that you want to put financial support behind your interest in this organization, now is the time to do it. We have the rest of today and we have all of tomorrow. And Jennifer, tell us what that's about.
Yes, and actually I'll have a special announcement that you don't even know about related to that, because we're extending the deadline. What it is about is we're having a triple impact match week. We have a match fund from a group of longtime supporters, friends of Families Together. Together they've formed an $85,000 match, and donations that are made during this week are being tripled in impact with that match fund. So a $25 donation becomes $75, 100 becomes 300 with the match, 1,000 becomes a 3,000. So it makes a huge impact. And when all that adds up, we will be able to house more and more families in our community. The special announcement is that we have extended the deadline to Sunday through Sunday night.
Awesome.
And that we were having some technical difficulties with our online platform, and so recognizing that a few people were having trouble getting on, we wanted to just make sure everybody who wants to participate can. So your listeners have a few extra days. So we're going to go through Sunday midnight, or 11:59 p.m. for the triple impact match, so it's a great time. If you're interested, concerned about these issues, and want to have an impact, please, all you have to do is go to familiesTogetherNC.org, and there's a donate button at the top on the right. Just click on that. You'll come to a form, and you can make a donation right there. And can I give out our mailing address, in case
Absolutely.
some people would? Our mailing address is, you would mail it to Families Together, P.O. Box 14395, Raleigh, North Carolina, 27620. And again, our website is familiestogethernc, as in North Carolina.org.
Awesome.
Thank you for the opportunity to highlight that.
I want to, we'll have that information up as a banner at the bottom of the screen, so that those who didn't have an opportunity to write it down can write it down.
Oh,
so
thank you.
we'll have that there. And I do want to mention, so that I don't forget, that this program will re-air. We always do a replay on Saturday. So there will be even more people. Those people who cannot listen on Thursday evenings will catch the replay on Saturday at noon. So they will still have an opportunity to give before your deadline is up. So I'm glad about that. I'm glad about that.
That's perfect. Yeah. Serendipity. That worked out.
Families Together is also going to be participating with us during Make It Count. And that is our celebration of 5 years in broadcasting, which is coming up on June the 10th. So those of you who are in the area and who want to participate in that information goes out the 1st of May. You'll be able to get all of the information about your tickets, the location, and all of that. And you will have an opportunity to one-on-one talk with somebody from Families Together and get some more information on this dynamic organization that truly is making a difference. And it doesn't take a lot. It takes a commitment. It takes a desire to do something different, to not just talk about it, but to be about it, and to make sure that you are really contributing to an organization that you can focus on, you can find out about. You have people local here in the area that can help you navigate and be sure that your dollars are truly being used, or your time, or whatever it is that you decide is the best thing for you in order to help someone else. And I am really happy about that. Jennifer, is there anything else that you want to tell us about the organization, or about some plans that you have coming up?
Well, I could, if I have enough time, I could love to say two more things.
Okay.
One is that we really do value the voices of people with lived experience in our decision making. So a couple of things that we prioritize is that we have people who have graduated from our program who serve on our board. So they are leaders of our organization. One is on our executive committee now, and she is an HR expert. So she brings in much value to the organization. Her perspective at having gone through our program, but also her expertise in an area that we really need, that HR kind of knowledge and expertise. And then we also have a new position on our staff with which we call family advocate. And that is with somebody who also graduated from our program some years ago. She now works with families that are newly enrolled in our program to and help provide a great example model inspiration and to encourage them to take advantage of the resources that we offer and the staff expertise that we have to share. So I'm really excited about that. Also wanted to just mention, as far as on the horizon, we are working toward becoming a small scale nonprofit housing developer. We have bought some property, as I mentioned, and some of it has land that we could develop. So we plan to try to contribute in a new way by actually building up the supply, because that's what we need here in Raleigh, in Wake County, and in so many communities, especially cities, large metropolitan cities. We need an increase in the supply of housing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, all housing is good, and an increase is good for all, I think. So at all levels, and we're really working to increase do our part to increase the supply of housing that's affordable for families in our community.
That's awesome. That is awesome. And I know that I have some listeners who are on. Some are in South Carolina, some are in Georgia. Um, I know those different states that I know about, some in California. And I do encourage you, if the issue of homelessness, the issues of families is something that is close to your heart, dear to your heart, I do encourage you to look in your area and see if there is something close to families together in terms of their mission and their goals. If you do not find that, and keeping families together is something that you feel we really need to focus on, you can start here, right here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Go to the website, familiestogether.nc.org, and we're going to put that up on the screen, familiestogether.nc.org, especially right now when your gift would be a triple match gift. So if you want to do something to make a difference, this is the time to do it. And again, if we support things all over, all over. It's never limited to the area in which you live. So if you want to support this organization, now is the time. This is the way. And I thank you so much for doing that. Okay, that's it, Jennifer. Unless you have something else that you really want to share.
Mainly just thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity. Andrea, I really appreciate you reaching out to me and giving me this opportunity, and to all the people out there who are listening. Thank you for taking the time to listen and considering what we're all about and how you might be able to get involved. We would welcome your support.
Awesome. Well, that is going to be it for Jennifer and Families Together in this segment tonight. Thank you so much, Jennifer. I love the organization. I love the things that you all are doing. I am so glad that I had the opportunity to be connected, even in a small way, and just want to do whatever I can. So I will let you know that this platform is available to you whenever there's something that Families Together is doing, and we can help get the word out. Remember ALH Broadcasting, and we're here for you, and we're here to do what we can. So thank you again for being with us. And folks, you hang in there for just a minute. We're going to let Jennifer go, and I'm going to be right back. Jennifer this afternoon. I was so happy to be able to talk with her. And one of the things that I really love about the organization, and I don't know who actually coined this phrase, but it's not a temporary fix. They go for a permanent solution. And I think that is awesome. I think that the idea of having that wraparound support is just amazing, just amazing. And the numbers are amazing as well. To think that they are in need of, I think she said 50,000 units to even come close to dealing with the problem that's out there in 7,000 children. Boy, it's a lot. It is a lot. It is a lot. and we can do something to help. We can do something that will make a difference. So I encourage you. A lot of times, people are looking for things to support and things to give to, and they think, well, I don't know exactly what's going on. I don't know what's out there. Well, you know that Families Together is out there. And you know how much the enemy would love to just disrupt and dismantle the family. And here is an organization that is doing everything in its power to keep the families together. So if you are looking for an organization to support, if you would like to be a part of this triple matched giving, I encourage you, check them out. Go to the website, familiestogethernc.org, and see some of the work that they are doing. And like I said, if you are in the area on June the 10th and you intend to participate and come on out to the event, they will be there and you will have an opportunity to connect with them on that Saturday afternoon. So I thank you so much. I thank you for being with me tonight, for stopping by ALH Broadcasting and being a part of our programming. I thank you so much for sharing. For sharing. Don't keep it all to yourself. When you hear good information on the station and on the different programs that come on ALH Broadcasting, be sure to share. Be sure to share. Tell somebody else about it. Don't keep all the good news to yourself. You got to share. You got to tell people what's going on. So I do appreciate that. Appreciate you being there. Appreciate all of you that I will see on this Saturday, April 29th. And thank you for all of your support. Thank you for all of the things that you do. And we're going to continue. We're going to continue to have some guests on in the next few weeks in particular that you will be able to meet on June the 10th at the event. So keep listening. Keep listening. And if there is a topic that you would like for us to delve into, if there is something that you would like to hear more about that we may have talked about before, if you have a story of strength or a testimony of triumph that you want to share, I know there is an individual who recently received a miracle, and I mean a bona fide, show enough miracle. And I'm hoping that I will be able to get her on to tell about it, to talk about the goodness of the Lord and all that he has done. And that's it for this evening, everybody. That's it. That's it. I thank you for stopping by, for turning down the volume of life for just a little bit so that you would be ready to receive. Because whenever you do that, you know that when life speaks, you'll speak life. Thanks, everybody. See you next week. We're right here, Thursday evening, 7 p.m. God bless. Have an amazing week. See you then.